mentioned, Mr. Rasid, I'm from INTI International University based in Malaysia. And of course, based on the experience from supply chains, I'm actually in this supply chains from industry. For industry, it's already 16 years altogether. So yeah, so actually my blood, yeah, is a supply chain blood. Anything you talk about supply chains, anything you talk about the productions, everything you talk about the operation management, that is in me. Normally what my students in Malaysia actually used to tell is, I guess you don't need to see a lecture notes. You know, we got everything from you, from just right, you know, from my brain. So of course, in terms of my quick intro, in terms of my industry experience, I start as low as you know, a clerk of supply chain, and I move on. You know, and I'm not sure that you know in your country you heard about products and medical products named B Brown. I think in your country there is a company name called B Brown as well. Yeah, I actually start from the company and how they, you know, from a clerk, you know, and move on into migration of data. That is the time, 2003. It's very famous with this SAP system. Yeah, so I was one of the youngest that, you know, been sent to the training and involved in all the productions, how you call migrations. So I was in the company for 9 years. So I moved on, and all this were from German company. I moved to the US company, and the last stop that where before I moved on into academia is actually I was with Coca-Cola Bottling Malaysia. So that is one of the most, I think, a precious brand, the billion-dollar brands that I work with. And I think as a supply chain manager, and then I actually, my last positions before I leave the industry was a demand planning manager. So basically, if you talk about the forecasting, yeah, I can just, you know, ring with you. I can get it done. So that is how, you know, things is in interesting. Yeah. So one day, you know, how I actually moved from people said, your industry is, you know, good enough. Why you want to move to academia? Because of passions. Yeah, because of passions. So I believe as academia, a lot of students, our students are lacking of theory or how to transform from the industry to a paper, or I call as theory. Yeah, so it's true enough. When I was in INTI International University, before I moved to INTI International University, I was at INTI International College in Subang campus in Kuala Lumpur. So I moved to a Nilai campus, which is with a university status. That's where at that point, I'm the only one lecturers that pursue PhD in supply chain. And I'm actually waiting for my Viva, I think because due to the COVID-19 pandemic, yeah, so due to COVID-19 pandemic, a bit slowed down. So I believe a Q1 next year, 2021, there will be my Viva day. I think now more on my actually thesis submissions for the approval. That's about me before I start something. Yes, anything that you want to ask me before we go into the serious part, or I believe, you know, yeah. Anything that you want to know about me, or any questions before we move on? Is there any, Sitora?
Yes, there are 23 dear students. If you have any questions so far, you can ask in the chat. They usually type in the chat. I mean, that's a spiritual session.
Yeah, I think that is normal, but because I'm actually presenting, so I don't really read the chat box for now. Yeah, so I think yeah, so definitely that, you know, yeah, okay, I will start. Yeah, I just want to have how do you call some capturing. You allowed me, Sitara, to just capture with my phone to just, you know, for some report submissions. Yeah, excuse me for a while. Oh, this is not really clear, but it's all right. Okay, let's move on. So I believe it continues from your lecturers, teaching you operation management. Every day, even we are eating, we're actually on operation management. Yeah, whatever you do as a students, you have gone through a lot of operation management without you realize things. Yeah. So now to move on, how actually a supply chain management works in operation management. Yeah. Okay. What actually I want to share with you is actually more on the overview of the operation management. I believe that is what is a module that you learn, and understanding a supply chain using a terms and example process. How supply chain is interrelated in operation management. And then some examples of supply chain processes, that I will show, because we don't have much time, right? I think, Sitora. So I just quickly show you how, a simple and what is terms that we normally use. What I can actually share with you is, as a students or the future, if for those who really love supply chains, you are actually, from now itself, you have to learn, know about the real life, what is happening in industry. Yeah. So that is how you feel like, oh, this is easy. If normally when, my students in Malaysia, they will say, oh, miss, this is hard. What is a jargon's words that you are actually telling, Sometimes I might use productions, yield, whatever things they are, what is this we unheard of, right? So don't worry. We make it simple. Yeah, make it simple. Okay, I think this is what I actually based on in terms of operation management. We use this book. As you know, operation management is the set of activities that creates a value in the form of goods and services by transforming inputs into outputs. So this is what I said. I have using this book, and of course, operation is everywhere. As I mentioned just now, like how you actually eat, everything is all operations, yeah? How about supply chain? Can you see the word, actually we have 3 words and we combine into become one phrase. Supply, chain, and we have a management here. Supply, I think in OM, can I use the short form OM? I think you guys understand, right? Operation management, is always talk about input, process, or transformations, and then you come out with the output. And if talk about supply, yes, you are already into a supply chain. Yeah. And how this one to connect, because there is a change, you have to connect from the starting as raw material, is moved until finished good. What is finished goods? Actually, finished good is a goods that ready to use. If you want to drink Coke, cannot be, I can just give you empty Coke, right? It definitely will give you the filled Coke. So in terms of all these chains, supply until the end, we put as a supply chain management, which is described the coordinations of all supply chain activities. It starts as first as raw material. Again, I say, and ending with a satisfied customer. Why I don't put as a products? Because in the supply chain, if you one day you involve in the industry, if customer not happy, the supply chain is not complete. The cycle will not complete. Yeah, so definitely you will get complaints. For example, you go to your 24/7 store and want to get whatever drinks or any last minute, but suddenly you notice after you reach home, and that is some mucus or whatever in your drinks, right? For particles. Do you think you will drink? No. So you will actually set up a complaint. When you set up a complaint, there's either you satisfied or not satisfied, that later part. As long as they complete the whole chain activities, then we say supply chain management is activated. I use the word activated because yes, it's actually start from 0 until 100%. Tasks as supply chains include supplier. Without suppliers who actually provides you a raw material, and then the company who run the manufacturing or productions for you. Without a manufacturer, we will not get our product finished good as well. And of course, service provider. Who are the service provider? How you get your stocks? Some trucks going to pick up from you, a logistic or any distributors, right? Or wholesalers. Sometimes you say, oh, I better get from this wholesaler. The price is more cheaper compared to I get from someone else. So all these things are involved in the deliveries, the products and services to final customer. Actually, who is the final customer? All of us here. Actually, we are using services of Zoom, right? Zoom is a service. So who is using? Me, myself from Malaysia. And with the we call innovative or technologies transformations. It's still, we got this, everybody, and imagine you are in your country and I'm in Malaysia. We can see at the one screen, yeah? That's great, yeah, that's right. So this is one of the services we call. So later on, either you're happy, you understand what we are sharing today, that is later part that you can feedback to your lecturers. But as long as my part, if you're talking about services, because I believe if you talk about finished good, yeah, products, let's say you talk about, what is the famous drinks in Tuscan?
Drinks?
Maybe your drinks, any drinks, yeah? If let's say you want to hold the drinks, of course you said, oh, they need to have everything. But for me, before I enter this Zoom meeting with you guys, do you know what your Miss Sitora need to do for you? And for me, she need to give me password. She need to share with me the link. What is all this? That is all called raw material. It's an input in your operation management. Yeah. And now we are talking, right? We are joking. I'm sharing something with my screen, and I talk about myself, and all this called process and transformations. Later part, who are the customer? My lovely students in front of, all of you here. You are the lovely students, you are the customers. If you're happy, actually towards, and late evening today, but you still sit with us and listening to what. So I actually indirectly complete a simple supply chain management chain. Hope this simple sharing, right, is really helps you. Because for me, I think products is very easy for you to understand. But if talking about services, not everyone aware. If let's say you go to hotel, why you feel the hotel is so good? Wow, this hotel is nice. Oh, nice, I can rest. Imagine you enter the hotel room, the bed sheet is unchanged, housekeeping not come. So it's unhappy customer, right? So that is not complete supply chain yet. Okay? So in the common terms, operation management is a management knowledge that takes the inputs to create outputs. Again, I put here products or services and deliver to the customer and end user. Supply chain management is a discipline by itself that is before and after productions. You know what is productions, right? It's talking about like your country famous is drink. When you can hold the drinks, all the factories is running, the productions. But in the services, they got no machine there. So how? You want to have a stay in a good hotel, 5-star hotel? You want to have a good ambience? Or you want to, when you have a private swimming pool in your room? That is also called a production. But it's just that it's an intangible for you. Yeah. But how I can count or inventorize about your happiness? Of course, I can't take your happiness, put in a box. Yeah, I cannot put it in a carton or rack or whatever. But then this is how it services, because some students or a lot of people might not understand how services actually have a supply chain in it. Yeah, it's the inputs and the area after the outputs are created. Generally, it's involved moving things around from point A to B without adding values to the material. Yeah, so far so good. Right, so if you talk about operation management process flow in the EMS, when I say EMS means is in terms of in the industry, how we move in. Because I think we have some limitation of time, I will not share much in the PDF. Definitely, I can share this slide we are lecturers, and maybe you can, share with students for the purpose of your knowledge, how industry works, yeah? So explains where actually supply chain involved in this flow. I can show you a quick flow, as I mentioned, because I believe everyone know this brand, right? It's a billion-dollar brand, yeah, and famous drinks. And when it comes to football, you can see they are one of the main sponsors as well. So look at here. What is this? It's a lot of process, right? So this is the start point. It's okay. I don't know where my pointer is. All right, but you can see the starting point. So that is called input. Yeah, the whole cycle until the end is the overall is a supply chain in the operation management. Yeah, supply chain operation management. So from how is all this, you can hold the drinks, you can enjoy the whatever beverages. If looking at the bottom part, bottom part is more on mobile phone, diagram. How this works, what is all these things? It's complicated, right? Have a look. But of course, I can give you a hint for you to get into a supply chain, or how you can enjoy the drinks or whatever. As a person or as a company as a whole, supply chains is a heart for the manufacturing company. When I say heart, is it important enough? Is it important enough? I guess so, right? So without heart, we are not sitting here and talking happily, right? So supply chains and operations have to marry together. They have to marry, yeah? If a supply chain say, I love you, operation must say, I love you too. Yeah, so this is how we get it done. Okay, so operation management in the simple terms, you can see the where supply chain involved in this simple flow. You see I put a food. In Malaysia, I think all of us, not only Malaysia, we love food, right? And now, towards the ending of the year, Christmas is coming, or festive season is coming, everybody is talking food as well, or holiday. So this is another simple things that you actually involve supply chain, which you did not realize. You see, I just quick run through the flow, yeah? You feel hungry, you want to find food to eat, right? And you decide if you would like to cook or you want to eat out, correct or not? You see, and then in the blue one, you have decided to eat out. Okay, let's go to the, a restaurant. And you have decided what food you want to eat. And all these things we call process. But please remember, this is in service industry, and all these are intangible. You're unable to see until you taste the food. Wow, this food is spicy. Wow, this is thirsty or lovely decorations. Even though it's just a one piece small of salmon fish, right? It's also lovely because of decoration. That is all output. Yeah. So far so good. Am I too fast? Yeah. Okay, great. So sharing the thoughts. Try, we always want to relate what both operation management process flow, find the process commonality and the differences, and we want to know what are the supply chains actually. We can see. So of course, this looks like so many things, but I think it's just to show you how supply chains have their indicators, or some company we call as a key performance indicators. Please remember, each of manufacturing company or services industry, they have all these things we call as a KPI, key performance indicator, as a benchmark, or the target to make sure that we achieve what we're supposed to do. And I won't go one by one and all these things, yeah, but later on, we can discuss and, share this slide with students. And this is a simple things before productions, what they are doing, and during a productions, what they do, what KPI or what metrics. Yeah, normally in supply chain, we call metrics. What metrics we use to measure? For example, I want to estimate how many drinks this upcoming festive from December to January. Yeah, because it's a festive season. But so how I'm going to do? So I definitely have my metrics, the formula, another simple terms we call as formula. Where's the formula for me to get the numbers? And let the production guys in the warehouse there or in the production line to run their job. And end of the day, we must have stocks to sell, because why? We actually bring in the revenue for the company. That's why I said, if no supply chain, the whole company can just keep quiet and everybody will be celebrates a long-term holiday. Yeah, and it's not a good thing. So this is some, a simple diagram that actually that I showed here. And you can see before productions, during productions, after productions. Yep. And another things, whatever I shared here is normally what we use in the industry. Yeah. I always tell my students, I don't like to just, yes, books are important, but sometimes books come out is later, many years already, but industries move on very, very fast. With the, IoT, I believe you all heard, right? The Internet of Things. Yeah. How can we actually move on with all this? Is it one day? People always challenge me. Miss Huai, I believe one day, and no more humans working in supply chain. I said, no, I need a man. Yeah. So I have of these mentions we call as a 4M1E. One man, I want to have minimum of 1 machines, 1 methods, 1 material, and 1 environment. Why I need environment? Because make sure that my machine's running under the shades. Yeah. We need a shade to make sure that we have a good warehouse and we have a safety number, because environments involve many, many things. I'm not going to click this link. If I click this link, actually show you another diagram that which is, can bring you up to, you want me to click the link?
Yes, you can show, why not?
Yeah, okay, let me try. Okay. Hopefully it's bring me to, just hang on, yeah. Yeah, let me minimize something. Okay, this is a link that why we actually said,
wait, you are sharing, I think you're not sharing it. We see your presentation.
A moment, yeah. Let me see. Oh. Can you see now?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what I said. The link actually bring you here, manufacturing program management. Yeah. Why actually, what they call, we have mentioned previously, 4Ms is man, machines, methods, and material. And of course the E, and E is actually environment. So what is man? It's talking about labors. Yeah, we talk about labors. And then we actually, you must know one thing about a supply chain. The whole, in a company, right, we have many departments. So in the departments, for you to complete a supply chain, you make sure that you have to work with human resources. You have to make sure you work with finance. You need some budgets to run something. Yeah, so you need a labor. So human resource department's the one who bring in. So this is what I meant here. You can see that organization chart, everything. So this is talking about the first M. The second M, what is the second M? It's machines. You can see you need to have equipments, you want to have facilities, everything. And I don't care, about the IT, I don't know, it's so many things, yeah? So of course, you need to machines to run, and all this involve cost. When I talk about cost, then it involves who? The next person is the Mr. Finance Department, right? So the finance department is always important for us. And methods. There is just too many things that you can discuss here. As I it's mentioned here, you can have a SOP, standard operating procedure. That is how they actually put you as in the process. In operation management, I believe, it's a real practices. Business process is number one. Yeah, business process is number one. Without business process, you are not going to have a successful flow of what you have been doing in the whole supply chain. Yeah, so here, if you're talking about the methods, so we have also ERP. ERP is one of the software that been used in the company. So we call ERP is enterprise resource planning. ERP is a home as a general, but under ERP can be many, many systems. Like for example, one of the systems that we're using for our class today, Zoom meeting, right? So that is called one of the ERP. again, I mentioned ERP stand for Enterprise Resource Planning. Because without ERP, today we will not attend this class, to be frank with you. Yeah, without ERP, we will not attend this class. Yeah, with the internet, that is also part of ERP. And with the computer or laptop that I'm having in my home in Malaysia, is a part. And same, you know, the technical that be involved for you to join and see me here is also another thing. So the whole thing is called ERP. But what exactly what you all see using the ERP, I'm not too sure, but definitely it's part under the house of ERP. Yeah. So next is actually I'll move on material. If you talk about material, if I want to go into details, you can see the word. You know, if really you work one day you definitely will be involved in the industry, right? You work, suddenly you can hear in manufacturing, can I have a bomb? I'm telling you, it's a real thing, yeah, industry. Can I have a bomb? Huh? Bomb? What's bomb? Bill of material. You know, bill of materials. Because anything that you issue, you want to produce your, how do I say it? You want to produce your products, right? You need material. And each of material has to be issued a bill because we need to charge on which department to charge with. Because if I'm having a labels to run these particular drinks, so I need to charge some, you know, some amount of money. So amount of cost I use. So all this bill of material, it has to be in there. So that's why, you know, but if talking about bomb, I use the word bomb, yeah, bill of materials is a long story as well. So we are talking, we are learning now, sharing a general supply chain. So we also have another one is a material purchase price. We talk about the supplier and vendors are also included here. Without supplier and vendors who actually provide us the raw material, we will not get our finished good or final products. Like now, all of you may be having a phone now with you, your iPhone. Without supplier or vendors that provide you a raw material, no one will own the iPhone or whatever Android phones that you are having now. Yeah. So of course, the specifications, engineering details, or any R&D, research and development, is also involved here. How to purchase and everything is important. So the most important, again, you see here is written, topic is also ERP use. Without ERP, we are not moving anywhere. Yeah. And the last is I call as environment. What does this topic environment covers? Actually, it's talking about the manufacturing required environment such as temperature, humidity, cleanliness, or I can add one more, safety. If without safety compliance, yeah, so I tell you, we would not have safety things that we can use today. I give you a real example. Coca-Cola bottler in Malaysia, they are the one and the first they call halal, what I call halal or green warehouse. I think you all understand, right? What is halal? Yeah. So it's a halal, first halal warehouse. So anything to do with non-halal goods of raw material of Coke will not enter in their warehouse. And everything's, you know, have to be a high safety and cleanliness. And then they are green warehouse. The lights on when people are passing by, no means it's just all dark. Yeah, that's how. And another things that are interesting about the green warehouse and what they have, and they actually use the rainwater in Malaysia, rainwater, they keep it and it actually share to your toilet use, for your toilet use, yeah? So that is how they actually indirectly cut a lot of costs. You know, they call cost reductions. Remember now, yeah, whatever you do. Imagine if, let's say me today, flying to your university, how much it cost me, right? But today, look at this, because of IoT, Internet of Things, I'm sitting here with all of you. How many of us? 18 of us. And we are enjoying, you know, two-way communications. We can see each other, but of course we cannot touch each other. But yeah, we enjoy. So this is what we call an environment as well. But of course, our environment is from home, you know. But I'm happy doing this, you see. Yeah. So this is what we call that, how it works, environment and temperature. And then talking about storage. You heard before warehouse, right? storage area, warehousing, that is where another environment that we actually, a warehouse is also run by itself. It part under a big umbrella of supply chain. We have a warehouse department. I just quickly share with you. We have a warehouse department, we have a logistic department under supply chain, we have a productions, we have an administrative of supply chains who is actually help to do all the documentations of supply chains. Yeah, and then we also involve in the procurement, who help you to purchase, you know, your raw material, who are the person who actually nominate, who's going to be your third party logistic, yeah, who's going to carry all the goods from A to Z destinations, yeah. So the effectiveness of overall supply chain environments in the factory is critical, yeah. So if without a good warehouse or safety compliance, supply depot where you keep your raw material, you must remember sometimes while raw material is it can be a dangerous good, and though in terms of their storage will be a difference. And maybe if let's say you work in the ice cream company Nestle, you want to produce yogurt. Yeah, yogurt we cannot keep in the under hot sun, right? So the storage we need a cold room. Is there any truck logistic that carry a cold product study? Yes, there is a truck, you can see on the road. You can see the curtain or whatever closed or container, but actually they have an air con, I can see air cons inside the truck's container. So this is what we call environment. And another thing is also talking about, a receiving bay, and then we have a JIT. I don't want to talk more. It's a lot of things if I want to talk as a JIT itself. Yeah, it's an interesting topic as well. So this is what, the link that actually bring you here. Yep. So far, so good. Let me back to can you all cannot see, right? My slide now. Can see?
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is what I mentioned just now. And then of course, this is actually talking about their, India. We choose India is one of the actually big company as well. They have a lot of things. This is actually part of the, just now I show you is like an example. Supply chain management cover 50 to 70% of an operation management. This is big, right? As I said, it's a heart of manufacturing. So what you see today is very basic. Yeah, every day in, day out, we talk about supply chain. It's very basic, but supply chain management is a continuous, non-stop evolving field. Challenge yourself. If you really want to work in the supply chains department or a supply chains, the area, of course, you earn this is quite good as well. A good money, good pay, because actually this industry is a very niche industry. Yeah, but remember that this industry work with very high pressure. You can see here the word, right? It's a continuous. You can have a 3 shift to have that. And of course, in supply chains, innovative is always number 1. Yeah, never stop improving. Like what we say, Japanese term say Gemba Kaizen. And I tell you, if you really one day in the supply chain area, we have a lot of Japanese terms like Kanban, we have a lot of things that you will definitely see. And which is we actually, put it as a theory. And until today, everybody is using, even the industry. So I always believe whatever we see theoretical here on the paper or on the book, it always can apply at workplace. Yeah, this is what I always want, my students. That's why when we talk about a supply chain, we have to, share. I always share a real case industry. What is going on out there? I don't want, suddenly students go out there and, oh my God, this is what I do not know. Is it true? This is how the real industry. But I don't learn this in supply chain, for example. Yeah. So continuous improvement is number 1 as well. So okay, as we said, good to know. The various formula and calculations are not included in these presentations as they can be found in your reference book, yeah? And that's why I said in these sessions, if I want to share some formulas, if you want to do some forecasts, suddenly, your Miss Sitora said, I want to estimate how many students that are actually going to join her operation management class. How she want to estimate? There is a formula for her. She has a formula, and she have done the calculations, you know, for university to know, oh, how many students that they're going to bring in, yeah. So all these estimations, there is a formula, but of course we won't talk here. If I talk here, it become another statistics class, yeah. Okay, so these sessions I share more on industry practices in the real world together than academic, yeah, which are ever in the reference books. So what is the books? You can always find this is a lot of good books that you can see. Yep. Okay. We come to an end. Is there any questions? Anything said, you know, interesting that you want to know?
Thank you for your presentation.
I know.
Yeah, I'm asking students, dear ladies and gentlemen, do you have any questions? One student, Shahzad, is asking, how would you find it to apply these theories in practice?
Oh, you thought she's actually question is use all these things in the practice, right? Okay, it's actually great questions. You know, what you learn in the class. To be frank with you, now your module is the operation management, right? These sessions or this this module is actually a real module. I don't say just a paperwork. So whatever you learn about input transformations, yeah, or process, and you get output, right? That is exactly what is happening in the world out there or the real industry. How you want to apply this? As I mentioned, how you want to complete this program that you are actually enrolled now? What is the input for you to get a graduation for this program? Degree in what? Okay, whatever, regardless what program you are joining. Yeah. So you need a three basic thing. Inputs. Inputs means daddy must send money to pay tuition fee, and you are ready to study. Yeah. And this is a real industry, and definitely this is definitely will bring you. Don't forget that, you know, operation management and supply chain is a good couple. So you must always be with them. Regardless, one day you either work in the industry as a supply chain manager or supply chain whatever, you definitely will find that, hey, there is operation management is everywhere. Yeah, operations management everywhere. As simple as cooking rice. Okay, I hope you know this is actually clear. Yeah, next questions.
Yeah, we'll wait for questions. They're thanking you, but I have a question for you personally. So you said that you have a 16 years of working within the supply chain management. Do you have some stories to share?
Okay. I want to share something. Of course, I don't mention, yeah, but I think you all roughly know. But this is a real case. Actually, there is an issue that I think you know when you receive anything, packaging is important. Yeah, packaging is important. And you know that for any festive season, sometime in Malaysia, we love not only beverages, even others products like oranges, everything. They love to pack in a package, a special packaging just to cater for festive season. For example, Idea Fitri, they'll come with a green box or whatever things. So one day, what happened is in the real things is all planned as well. All the processes, business processes is all done. But what happened is suddenly one person just wrongly heard and they end up using a different label. Instead of festive label, they print out the generic label. What will happen? The machine cannot stop. The machine will run. It's like, okay, I tell you to be frank, the one cycle, the machine run in 8 hours, my dear. When you run 8 hours, you're talking about drinks that they come out 24,000 of cans. And who want to, you know, to have that and clear that? So at that time, I was the demand planning manager, and you know, it can be part of me why I did not check. Yeah. So what we do, please remember the root cause analysis. The root cause analysis and brainstorming sessions. Quickly we pull back. Thank God is actually we print with a generic label, but we actually, like how you call, we waste our 8 hours productions. So we need to replace quickly, because outside in industry is waiting for festive season packaging. It's not the generic one, because we are doing promotions. And my marketing guys is actually, you know, short here, short left, and I'm like a hamburger in between. So what will happen to me? So we have quickly put it into, get all the, they call decisions maker people. Who is a decision maker? Maybe from a production manager, from logistic manager. We need to pack our stocks, the wrongly printed one, to another warehouse, because our warehouse is overwhelmed with the festive season stocks. So what we have done is quickly do a root cause analysis where the things went wrong. Okay, happens or happen. Yes, of course, I've been scolded or whatever who involved, you know. But why root cause analysis is very important? Because root cause analysis actually to prevent the same mistake reoccurrence. Yeah, so this is a real things is happening, and we actually waste a lot of, I can say, we don't waste in terms of products, Sitora, but we waste time. The 8 hours it's a lot of things we can do with 8 hours productions. So that is actually a real case, yeah, that is happening in. Another thing that I want to talk is, if let's say you, when I was in, this is more on beverages, yeah, and I was in a different industry, totally different, it's a healthcare industry. In the healthcare, it's all urgent, yeah, and this is more on orthopedic. Orthopedic means something to do with bones. Someone, you know, because the company where I work is always on the go, and normally if your customer or patient don't pay, the hospital will not proceed with the operations. But we have come up with a lot of schemes, you know, and we make sure that our people who is actually in charge of this, or sales people that are actually involved in this, make sure they always tag along. I tell you, 3 o'clock morning, we receive a call. Miss Huai, we do not have enough screw. Screw, you know, screw. Someone have a back injury, a back accident, and they need to do a hips placement on the spot, because, you know, a lot of blood, everything's, or it's involved someone's life. So we have no choice. I have to wake up 3 o'clock morning to quickly source. And we just within 3 days, actually less than 3 days, actually, yeah, we how to call, we ship by DHL from different country, the products in, to make sure that we want to make our customer happy. Who is our customer? Actually, it's not this time, right? In my deep heart inside, I'm not talking about revenue. I'm talking about how to save his or her life. Yeah. So you imagine if any simple mistake done in supply chains, just not because of did not follow a process, right? The whole operations is jeopardized. So that is another experience that I have. Yeah.
Thank you. I have another question here.
Sure.
What are the main issues that may decrease the effectiveness of companies' supply chain? What do you think, what changes in traditional supply chain management may occur in near future?
Okay, that is another good questions that posted by students. Remember I was telling about the IoT, Internet of Things? Yeah, Internet of Things. So the innovativeness technologies that impose in supply chains, we have a big challenge now. Why? Some people actually in my PhD research, I'm talking about men, humans, yeah? But people have challenged me, no, one day supply chain will not need men anymore. We actually have AI, you know, artificial intelligence. I said, no. So if you ask me, it's because of we can't change people to adapt a new system. Last time people do a forecast or some calculations by using a Microsoft Excel, right? And do you think I can change someone that worked in one place for 25 years, serve the company, and suddenly I said, oh, next year, 2021, effective January 1st, we're going to implement this, and now we have to do these migrations. These are big problems that we face, that people are not so, how do I say it, technology adaptive. They cannot accept new things because they are comfortable with what they are doing. But what they are doing actually is a very slow, and if you talk about volume, we are unable to cope with that. So we have to ready with technology. That is the things that happens in supply chain, which is a bit hard to impose. Yeah.
Ms. Huai, I think right now there are a lot of supply chain management software programs, right?
What is that?
Nowadays, there are a lot of supply chain management software programs that are offered to be used by companies. What do you think about that? Because I think that also partly answers students' question, because it's already going on automated mode, right?
Yeah, we actually have the, as I mentioned, yeah, now you're talking about the system. To be frank with you, if you go and stand at the production line, normally I stand at the base. I can see the production at the bottom. I don't see humans. I only see one supervisor is walking, checking. And where are they looking? At the, like a computer screen. Is there any error? Yeah. So a lot of company actually try to invest that, but it's involved cost. Anything to do with cost is always have a second considerations. What things that I can ask my people, the expert who can do difference more cheaper in terms of buying a software. I give you an example. For you to invest a good SAP system, I think you all know what is SAP system, right? Yeah, it's not cheap. And you notice that all the only big company or big multinational company, they're actually willing to invest on it. Yeah, and that's where you can see they are running very, very fast, and especially for small, medium enterprise. I just want to mention one of the industry that unable to cope with the software price, the software cost. Yeah. Yes, we definitely, if you're talking about the a software ERP, yeah, this is an ERP. Definitely everyone, you know, on the go with all the latest software and many things, or Oracle, you know, but we still see a lot of gap in industry in terms of this. Yep.
Thank you for your answer. I have, I think, a final question. You know, it was an interesting point where you were giving an example of how the rainwater was used in the toilet, right? Do you have any other similar examples that are, you know, unique in Malaysia, because it's new to our country as well?
If you okay, first thing is they use a rainwater because you must remember, like for example, we talk about the Coca-Cola, right? Their main raw material is water. Yeah. So of course it will go through a lot of what I call waste management process for them to get everyone can flush the toilet with the rainwater and all these things. Yeah. So another thing that now we can see is they go on green warehouse. Green warehouse because they always said, if green warehouse, we need to use sun. But you notice nowadays a lot of warehouses now, the, how do you call it, the roof, yeah? The roof, they don't use the how do you call it? They are more on transparent roof. That is also another part that we notice in Malaysia that they actually use for the cost reduction purposes. And if you ask, but other things we don't really see much. In Malaysia, famous is they recycle a lot of plastic bag, or same goes to, you know, I'm not sure in others country. Lately, we can see a lot of even the Subway, you know, Subway food, or any fast food restaurant. Their plastic is very soft. I always question them, why your plastic is so soft? I can't put 2 breads, you know, it will just stop. But everything is all come from recycle. So I think from water-based, everything is, remember nowadays, I think in terms of revenue, they are looking at the cost, how can they reduce as much as possible. Now that is a main concern in the supply chain as a whole. Yeah, I'm not sure I can answer your questions.
Yes, thank you for your question. While you were answering, I also got another question. If my students don't have, sorry for so many questions.
No problem.
Yes, regarding the supply chain management, like within that rich experience within the supply chain management, is the supply chain management industry still popular in Malaysia? Like, do people want to work within the sphere? Is it profitable?
Oh, you mean is this still profitable?
Popular, yeah.
To be frank with you, supply chains is the area I call as a niche area. You don't easily get people graduates from like, for example, Bachelor of Supply Chain Management. There is a few university in Malaysia that have this kind of program, but to be frank with you, it's a competitive advantage that you have to really compete with others for you to stay in the supply chain industry. I give an example for myself, yeah, based on what experience. As long as you hold a degree or you hold the good qualifications of your education certificates, anything, your master, your whatever degree, but as long as you must come along parallel with your industry experience. Because in Malaysia, it's very popular, especially logistic, yeah? I think we shortage of logistic everywhere in Malaysia. And with the now COVID-19 pandemic, right? Everybody purchase online, e-commerce. I tell you, imagine the Food Panda or Grab Food everywhere is all logistic. And if anything slow down, oh, I will put you aside. So it's a very competitive in Malaysia as well in logistic. And nowadays, I notice our customer is very high demand and high expectation as well. How can we play around that supply chain can actually continue to stay sustainable? That is a problem in Malaysia that, you know, we notice that, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, yeah? Yeah, so it's a famous, but not easy to get a job also, you know, to get into the supply chain. Yeah, I mean, to be frank with you, if you ask me, I want to recruit someone, to work, right? Definitely, I looking forward for someone with experience. Yeah, and the qualifications normally they ask for you to work in the supply chain. They ask for you to have slightly engineering background. Yeah. Yeah.
I see. Thank you for your answer. Now here, the supply chain management and logistics are actually booming the last 5 years.
Wow.
That is why we have universities offering the degrees in supply chain management and logistics. I remember back in 2010 when we were thinking about launching a bachelor's degree, we said we don't need that. But after 5 years, it actually was, after the market research, we saw that we actually need that because, yeah, it's very demanding, very important sphere. Thank you very much, Ms. Huai. I think it was a very good experience. Thank you for your time and the guest speaker for spending time with us. I hope you liked it. We liked it. Dear ladies and gentlemen, do you have any questions? I mean, they all thank you in the chat. They said thank you for the session. So if no further questions, I wanted to thank you once again. Yes, I see it was a very great and interesting lecture.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And
you are most welcome. You know, I also want to thank you, Sitora, and the team here, you know, give me a chance to actually can come and share a sessions. You know, it's short one, but I hope that it actually brings some knowledge, at least some basic knowledge, how important is supply chains. To be frank with you, from bottom of my heart, supply chain is super, super important. You know, I always, you know, try to, you know, tell my students, do something different from others. I managed to, you know, I can tell you a few cases, my students, they are actually bachelor in finance, you know, a bachelor in business, but they are specialized in finance. After enter my classes as a minor or elective subject, they just want to have their, enough, it's okay, oh, Miss Huai teaching, oh, interesting. So I tell you, my students now is a supply chain planner in where I work formally. So that's why I tell you, once you start to love and you have a passion, you definitely will, you go all out. As a, you know, before I end the sessions, you know, one thing that I want to share with you, work with passions, you definitely will fall in love automatically. Yeah, so that's why I said why I choose from industry come to academy, because I notice my students or all of us here need someone from experience from industry to share why we are important. Yeah. Okay. So continue to strive the best in supply chain. I tell you, the job is waiting you out there. You know, don't worry. Yeah, as long as you know where to make you difference, make yourself value and stay competitive. Yeah, thank you very much. And you are most welcome, Sitora.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Yeah,
And thank
same
you
to
for
all of you.
inspiring us. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.